Hi all, Planetside Agent here. Today we're going to take a look at another one of my cook sets, one of many. This one's based around a 750 milliliter titanium cook pot and a canister stove. So open it up and I'll show you what I got here. Now this is very similar to the Toaks titanium, but this is from a different company. And I think their prices were a little bit less. I bought it online. This pot is look like Tamashiko. Oops, there we go. I didn't get the light in there. Tamashiko 750 milliliter titanium pot. So very similar to the Toaks. It's got butterfly wings here. Comes with a lid. It's got the same little feature to keep the tab from going down. It goes into this little slot. Oops, center it up here. There we go. Okay. So next, for the stove, I've got one of those the titanium burners, propane mix burners that you can find online. There's several different brands out there, or at least several different vendors. This one's titanium. Doesn't feel that light, but anyway, yeah, the pot stands flip out. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Yeah, the wings flip out. Here's the control, the throttle. And it fits on the thing. And that's the burner. Comes with a little bag. Okay, and I've got some waterproof matches, a lighter, 2 ways to strike a fire, a little scrubby pad, and then inside I've got the small MSR Isopro fuel canister, and this one, yeah, 7.4 ounces or 211 grams. And how much does it hold? Where is it at? I guess that's the fuel. Anyway, it's the smaller one, so it nests inside the pot here, perfect, with a little room to spare. And it's not real tall, so you got more room to store. This probably get you through a couple of weekends. Went there, and next I've got my windscreen, which is folded up aluminum foil, which I like to use because it's light, it's cheap, and it works. And then in the very bottom, I've got some of that foam. Probably not the best color for cine photography here, considering it's a green foam on a green background. But anyway, it's kind of a craft foam. I buy a packet of it at the dollar store. It's not real thick, but it's thick enough to insulate whatever you put it on. I've used it for alcohol stoves. Generally, for the alcohol stoves, I'll cover it in aluminum foil to help keep it from melting. You know, when the Fancy Feast burner's on top of it. But this one, I figure since it's on top of it's just the canister sitting on it, I'm not going to worry about it getting hot. So I didn't put any foil on it. So I cut that just big enough to fit inside, and it's also just big enough to that this sets on it. So this will keep the canister insulated from the ground, which you really need to, because they're pressurized, and if they get too cold, they won't pressurize and it won't heat. That's another nice thing about the aluminum foil windscreen. I kind of put it around, and that kind of keeps the heat going. Now, when I do put the aluminum foil windscreens around the stove, I kind of swing it around, but I always leave at least a gap around it. You never want to close these off because they'll run away. You have all kinds of problems. But if you leave a gap in it, you won't overheat the stove, which some people worry about. They don't use these with windscreens because they say they'll get too hot. But if you leave a gap in it, it won't get too hot. I used the old gas bluette stove for years and years and years. Never a problem, just aluminum foil. But like I said, always leave a gap in it. That gets enough air that it'll burn correctly and not overheat. But then it does warm it up enough that it will perform well in the winter. The other problem is when I first started using these propane stoves, if there's any kind of a wind, they will not heat. The wind will blow. If you don't have a windscreen, you know, it's just got your old pot sitting on top of here, the wind will blow that flame away and it'll never boil. I learned that the first time I used my bluette stove. I was trying to heat water for a meal, and I was on a bicycle camping trip, and it just would not heat. So then I went and got some aluminum foil, and it worked like a champ ever since. Even used it, you know, in the cold at altitude. Did a climb on Mount Shasta. We camped at 10,000 feet, and the bluette still worked fine, and with the windscreen around it. So anyway, so that's this kit. I decided to get one based for the propane burners. You know, I've got them now for alcohol. I've got them kits built around my wood, gas, and fire stoves, and just all kinds of different combinations, just for fun. I might use this one. The nice thing about propane is, as everybody probably knows, it's on and off. Easy to get started. If you're doing, you know, like your dinner and then maybe tea after dinner and then tea in the morning and, you know, cooking your breakfast, you're using it quite a bit. Where something like alcohol or wood, that's going to be a lot of, you know, starting and stopping the fire, which could be rather tedious. So, and also I read an article. I should find that again and post it. But a guy did a study on what's best. Wood, alcohol, white gas, and propane mix. And for short duration trips, he found that, you know, that's the amount of energy you get versus the amount of weight that you have to carry. Obviously, you know, fuel is fuel, but it's the containers. Sometimes it's a killer on weight. But based on, you know, BTUs and weight and all that, for short range, alcohol is fine. But, you know, more than a few days, then the weight of the alcohol that you need to cook with is more weight, you know, based on the amount of heat you get out of the alcohol. These actually, for longer periods, the canisters are the best over white gas or alcohol. So for longer distances, even the more BTUs you can get out of this far outweighs the weight of the canister. So, but in the end, it's whatever you want to put it on your back. So anyway, that's my 750 canister stove cook set. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.